Alright guys, when I got home from work today, there was a package on the doorstep and I got all excited. I knew exactly what it was just by looking at the box, and it was my sheet of Sea Dek in Snow Camo. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to adhere it to the bottom of my Minn Kota wired foot control for my Minn Kota Riptide ST80 trolling motor. As I stated in my water test review of the foot pedal, that the foot pedal has 4 little rubber foot pads on the bottom of it, and when you use the autopilot or constant on button on the left, the foot pedal will rock, and when you go to use the adjustment control on the right, it'll rock to that side. If you had a bass boat or a boat that had carpet in it, that I don't think it would do it too much. But since I have a flats boat, the deck is is a hard surface and it's flat, so it sits on those 4 little rubber pads. So what I'm going to attempt to do is adhere the Sea Dek to the bottom of the foot pedal by removing the 4 rubber pads, and then hopefully it'll sit nice and level, it won't move around, and I can leave it on the front of the boat while I'm running the boat in pretty choppy conditions. So let's get to adhering the Sea Dek to the foot pedal. Okay guys, I got the foot pedal in front of me. First thing we want to do is remove the 4 rubber foot pegs. And all you do, there's a keyhole slot, all you do is just grab them and pull down. Okay, now that we've gone and done that, the next thing we want to do is we have to file down the little spikes that run around the perimeter of the foot pedal. And the reason we're going to do that is because this is a nice about 1/8 inch lip all the way around the foot pedal that I am hoping that the Sea Dek, that's enough for the Sea Dek to adhere, plus the bracing in the inside. The Sea Dek is actually pretty dang sticky, so I'm hoping that this, like I said, this perimeter is enough to adhere. But I don't think that these little spikes, some of them are actually filed down from being on the non-skid on my boat already, so they're not they're not the hardest plastic. So what we're going to do is we're going to file them down so we have a nice flat surface to for the adhesive to stick to the back of this foot pedal. So I got my handy dandy little hook file that actually I end up using for everything, and that's where we're going to file the little pegs down with. Okay, I noticed when I was filing off the little tabs that the bottom ring around the foot pedal is a little concave, so it's not quite flat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around now with the file and just make sure that this whole thing is nice and flat and smooth surface. That way the adhesive on the back of the Sea Dek has something nice to grab onto. Alright, that's it. Now let's clean up our mess real quick and move on. Okay guys, I've cleaned up the shavings from the filings, from filing down the edge and smoothing all that out and leveling all that out. The next thing we want to do is Sea Dek tells you to use acetone, but in past experiences, putting acetone on certain plastics actually reacts really badly and you can melt it. So I've opted to clean the surface with some denatured alcohol. I've never had denatured alcohol really affect too many plastics. So let's start cleaning. We're going to get the little cross areas in the middle also as well. Anywhere that Sea Dek is going to adhere. Okay, now the next thing we want to do is I've flipped over the Sea Dek, so now I am looking at the back side of it. Now this is the peel and stick part of it, and what we want to do, lay the foot pedal down as you see I have here. Okay, get it pretty close to the edges. Leave yourself a good 1/4 inch from the edge, and take a black marker, permanent black marker, and just draw a line around it, just like this, and that's what we're going to cut out. Now I like to save as much of this stuff as I can. It does come in handy for other projects, and stuff isn't cheap. So all I'm using, standard pair of house scissors, just to rough cut this out. Now we go to trim the pedal out. What we're going to do is we're going to use a nice brand new sharp razor blade. That I found out that's what cuts this stuff the best, and that's also what Sea Dek recommends to cut this sheet with. But for right now, we're just going to rough cut this out with some scissors. It's the quick and easiest way. Okay, we can put that Sea Dek away. Okay. Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to peel off the paper adhesive protector. Okay. Now you're only going to have one shot of putting this on the back of the foot pedal, because this stuff is super sticky, guys. So I'm warning you now, you only got one shot, and let's stick it on. Okay, flip the pedal over and start depressing. Oh yeah, this is gonna work good, guys. I can already feel it. I can already see this stuff is just adhering to this really well. I think what I might do over the course of tonight, put a couple heavy books or something down on it to really get it to stick on there. Okay. Now, we got the Sea Dek adhered to the back. Now the next thing to do is to trim it out with your razor blade. Okay, got my brand new razor blade, and I'm going to attempt to trim this out. Oh yeah, with a nice brand new razor blade, it is cutting like butter. This is going to be a piece of cake. Okay guys, well, it's all done now. We have successfully coated the bottom of the Minn Kota wired foot pedal with Snow Camo Sea Dek, and it turned out awesome. I cannot wait until you get this on the front of the boat. I went with the little dimpled Sea Dek, and I believe this is just gonna grip my sandpaper non-skid really well. As you can see, just putting it here on the floor, really doesn't move. Push down the pedal, stays nice and flat.